Welcome back to second grade skills block instruction, day 12. Today we're working on setting purpose from engagement text to decodables. Our learning targets for the day. I can read second grade words that don't play fair in isolation. I can use knowledge of vowel sounds to help me decode words with different spelling patterns. I can read second grade words that don't play fair in text. Gather round together, together, together. It's time to hear a story, a story, a story. It's time to hear a story and say what you've learned. Listen carefully as I read today's article, My Garden Spot. After I'm finished reading, you're going to think about what it was about and what you learned, and then answer some questions. My Garden Spot. Sunny days just make you feel good. It seems everything is better when the sun shines. Well, plants like sun too. They need sunshine to grow the best and give you the best vegetables and flowers. This is why picking a nice sunny garden spot is important. Take a walk around your yard and look for spots that have good sunlight, are easy to get water to, and aren't in the way of somebody else trying to have fun in the yard. You also might like to get a spot where people can see it and you can show it off to everybody. Because sunlight is important, you need to find out how much sun the spot you've picked gets. This is called exposure. A spot facing south is best. After you pick your garden spot, watch it for a few days to see how much sun it gets. You can do this with a sun chart. What does the article say about why picking a nice sunny garden spot is important? Plants like sun. They need sun to grow the best and give you the best vegetables and flowers. Next, I want you to think, what is a sun chart? A sun chart is a sketch of your house and other parts of your yard, marking where the sun hits at different times of the day. In the article it says, because sunlight is important, you need to find out how much sun the spot you've picked gets. This is called exposure. What does exposure mean? Exposure is how much sun a spot gets. The article says a spot facing south is best. What does facing mean in this sentence? Facing in this sentence means it's positioned with the front to a certain direction. So when it says a spot facing south is best, then they want a spot that is positioned with the front towards south. Can you plant things in your yard without making a sun chart? I want you to think and tell someone why or why not. I might go and plant something in my yard without making a sun chart. However, after I plant it and water it and give it some time to grow, maybe it won't grow because I didn't take the time to make a sun chart and the area that I dug and put the plant into doesn't get enough sunlight. It's time to grapple baby, grapple baby, grapple baby, grapple baby. Is it a snap or trap word? Think about it and back it up. Think and back it up. Is it a snap or trap word? It's going to be hard, but think about it and make a start. We know some words can be hard to read and spell because they don't look and sound like they should. We call those words that don't play fair. Today we're going to look at the words like this and figure out what makes them hard to read and spell. On the right, I have a list of snap or trap word cards: throughout, endure, weave, able, possible, explained, and laughed. I also have a snap or trap T-chart. All of these words on the right are high frequency words, which means We see them a lot when we read, and we use them a lot when we spell. Some of them are regularly spelled, and that means that they play fair. Some of them are irregularly spelled, so they don't play fair. We're going to figure out which ones should go in the snap column and which ones go in the trap column. Let's look at our first word, throughout. I notice we hear the oo sound in the word throughout, but I see the letter G usually makes a g or j sound. This word is tricky, so it goes in the trap column. I want you to think about the other words, indoor, weave, able, possible, laughed, and explains. And I want you to think about which words play fair and belong in our snap column, and which words do not play fair and belong in our trap column. Take a moment and figure out where you would put each of these words. Great job. Let's look at what the answers are. Indoor doesn't play fair. It's a trap word. Weave and laughed are also trap words. Able and possible are both snap words. Our last word, explained, is also a trap word. Were you right? Make sure you fix it on your paper. Now you'll read a story, a story, a story. Now you'll read a story with words that you know. We now have your decodable text, My Garden Spot, and we're going to read a story about how Sam, a character from Sunnyside, uses information from the article that we just read. This story is filled with words that you can read. There are decodable words, and there are some words that don't play fair, like throughout and indoors. Think about all the different words that you have learned about this year. Using something at home and the paper of this, I want you, as we read through it, to look for some of our high frequency words and either notice it on your computer or technology, or highlight or underline or circle it on your paper if you have it at home as well. I'm going to first read the story to you, then I want you to take some time to read it yourself. My Garden Spot. Dad walked into the kitchen. He saw Sam scribbling on some paper. "What are you drawing, Sam?" asked Dad. "A sun chart," Sam replied. "We've been learning about gardens at school. I know it's impossible for us to have a garden because we don't have a yard. So I'm planning an indoor garden," Sam explained. "Plants need sun to grow, so I made this chart to keep track of when the sun shines through each window throughout the day. That way I'll know the best place to put the garden." Sam showed Dad the chart. "It looks like the kitchen will be the best spot. It gets sunshine in the morning and afternoon. It faces south, which means it gets bright sunlight," said Dad. Sam and Dad went to the local garden center to buy some plants, plant food, a watering can, and potting soil. They chose a lavender plant with little purple flowers and a spider plant with long, thin leaves. As soon as they got home, Sam carefully put the plants on the table next to the kitchen window. He filled the watering can and sprinkled them with water. He made sure they were sitting at the right angle so they would get plenty of sunshine. "Maybe we can grow some vegetables next, and a sunflower, and—" Dad stopped Sam. "Let's see how we do with just 2. Then we'll decide if we can handle any more plants in our wonderful little apartment garden," said Dad with a smile. Now I want you to read it multiple times. I want you to read it to yourself, inside your head, read it again yourself, outside. Then I want you to find someone at home, a family member, a friend, or a stuffed animal, and read it a few times to them as well. This helps build your fluency and your knowledge on what the text is about. What can I do today that will help to create a classroom community where all of us can grow and flourish as readers and writers? How can I ask for help so I can grow and flourish as a reader, writer, or become proficient as a reader and a writer? As you're doing all of this great learning and work at home, I want you to continue to think about how you can be reaching out to your teacher and reaching out to your classmates to ensure that everyone in your classroom community is growing and flourishing together. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us.